find that, and how important is it for that communication with supporters?
Yeah, I think it's key. First of all, it was brilliant to see so many fans there, and I thought they had some really challenging but good questions, and the atmosphere in the room was a really good one. And the club tried to be honest and open and build the rapport with the fans. So I enjoyed it. It was probably made a touch easier with the win on Saturday before, but the general feeling was I think they could see what we're trying to do, and hopefully with a few more results we can put more smiles on faces.
Yeah, there was certainly a sense of warmth and support, I thought, and obviously last Saturday did help. And just thinking back, I think the goal scorers who scored last week were particularly significant. You got Kyle and Callum who both got off the mark, and then both Mattis coming off the bench. I suppose you could have hand-picked 4 better scorers if you tried, really.
Yeah, and Troy would have been nice because he actually got into some brilliant positions a couple of times. So it was lovely to see the goals spread around and some people that definitely needed the goals. And I felt the warmth, but I think probably you only get that from the majority of fans. Not everybody would have been so warm, but from the bulk that were in the room, it was we just try to be honest, and we're trying to build something. We're not there yet. We understand there's growth and development, and we think the good thing is there's a lot of growth and development to be had, but there's been enough signs this year to suggest that we'll end up being a good team. Now we want that sooner rather than later, but the more people we could get scoring goals and get the confidence up, and the more goals we could score at home, and like I say, get our own supporters seeing some exciting, fast, free-flowing football. I think that gets everybody, or the majority, on board, and from there, then we can kick on as a club.
You think a 5-0 win would be great for confidence and belief. Have you seen that yourself? Has the proof been in the pudding on the training ground this week?
Yeah, I mean, bar the Accrington game, which all the other games, we've had a couple. Newport was not very good, and particularly second half against Crewe was not very good. The Accrington game was the only game where I saw a real lack of confidence. The rest of the time on the training ground and in the games, I've seen lots of patches of confidence. I think it was probably the most sustained period that we've played with where there was. And then this week there's been a lovely feeling around the training ground, and one which I think has been a nice balance. It's probably a little bit of relief, a little bit of belief, and then just the fact that, we could do it, and they were in it together. And like you say, it wasn't just the ones that started, it was the ones that come off the bench did really well as well. So it felt like a real squad performance. And because of that, yeah, it's been a nicer week despite the weather. It's been a nice week on the training ground, and we've got a really good test tomorrow to see how far we've actually come.
And you mentioned whether we found out that tomorrow's game will be subject to a 9 a.m. pitch inspection. I suppose all you can do is just keep the lads focused on the task in hand.
Yeah, exactly that. Listen, we know whether the game's on or off tomorrow, we've got a lot to improve on, and we got players coming back to boost our squad even further. So yeah, hopefully they make the right call at 9 o'clock, whether that's on or off, and they don't mess our supporters around, because our travelling support is brilliant when they travel so far to watch it. We don't want them leaving their houses in dangerous conditions if the game's not going to be on, and make sure they look after them, because they're the most important people to us.
What do you expect from Mansfield? Because only 2 wins more than ourselves, but I think something like 12 or 13 points better off. So what have you made of them so far this season?
So again, probably one of the stronger teams in the league. So you got these Wrexham, Stockport. They're going really strong at the moment. Really big, really well organised. They play like a 4-diamond 2. They have 2 really willing runners. Massive side with like your Aidan Flints and Aitken and people like that in the team. And really aggressive, and it's probably the test for us, being quite a small team at the moment, especially with Ryan and Geordie not being available, and a couple of others, but really well coached, really good team, play with loads of energy, and obviously haven't conceded many goals, so we're going to have to make sure we're really well organised and make sure we're up for the battle to start with. And there's been a couple of games where that's probably not been the case, so I'll make sure that message is across. And then there's definitely a couple of areas that we think, with all their good attacking play, they leave open, and we'll try and get the ball there and get some of our better players in those positions, dribbling at them and combining quickly. And if we do that, then I think we've got a chance of picking something up in the game.
And just finally, David, on the injury front, some good news on Ryan Innes, I believe, and then just great to see 4 lads who will be nearing returns in the next couple of weeks out on the grass as well.
Yeah, so I'll go with the negative first, because I'd like to finish this on a positive. We've unfortunately, Matty Taylor pulled his hamstring on Wednesday in training, just making a run behind, and just felt his hamstring, and he's going to be at least 6 weeks, possibly 8. So that's obviously extremely disappointing because Matty scored a good goal. He's a brilliant character to have around, and he'll be a loss for us. But then Ryan's scan suggested it was a 12-week injury, but he's probably 6 weeks into it. So he's played, it's a credit to him actually as a person. He's played through clearly a lot of pain for 6 weeks to try and help the team. So actually he's probably only 6 weeks left before playing. So 4 weeks probably where we still have to keep him off feet, 2 weeks of training, then back playing. So that's going to be a big plus. And then Jordan Garrick has been out training fully for 2-3 days now. No reactions, looks really quick. I mean, I don't know him as well as a lot of the others because he played a little bit against Plymouth and I have not seen him since. Looks like he's going to add real pace and good dribbling ability to the team. Callum Jones, again, the same as Jordan. I think he might need another week's training just fitness-wise, but no injury concerns. And we know what a good footballer Callum is and brilliant to have around. And then Geordie has been out on the grass, joining in the little rondos. He'll train fully next week, and we hope to have him involved, probably on the bench against Crawley, maybe to start. We'll have to wait and see how this week goes physically. So to have those back, and obviously Charlie's back now from international duty. So the squad's slowly getting there now, or actually quite quickly getting there. And obviously in any football season, you lose the odd one and you hope to gain more. And this is as excited as I feel because we're getting as close to full strength as we have since I've been here. And that's a real nice balance of the squad because the boys that have played, although we haven't picked up the points we wanted, have done great. We're just adding different speed, technique, a bit of height back to the team, a bit of physicality with Jordan. We just add more tools to our toolbox, and I really can't wait for the next couple of weeks.